Yeah, what the hell? Let's do it. All right. All right. Talking about a little bit in greater detail on the Yankees, obviously, and the Major League Baseball offseason. And today I want to talk about the MLB players that have 2026 options, who could be real options for the Yankees. That's mutual options, club options, player options. I'm going to put a list right on the screen for you, okay? Shout out to everybody in the chat. Consul Yeti, Dev, Jonathan, what is going on, everybody? Now, let's put this up on the screen so you can see it yourselves, okay? Now, let's get into this. Here's the list of the options as it comes up on the screen. Alrighty. You all see that? Here we go. Okay, so we're going to go over the list. Cody Bellinger is a player option, which he's opting out. He's declining. Alex Bregman has an opt-out clause, which sounds like he's going to exercise. Trevor Story has an opt-out clause. We'll see if he does that too. Pete Alonso has a player option, and he's already said he's out. So he's already opted out of it. Shota Imanaga, this one's an interesting one. Pitcher for the Chicago Cubs. He has a conditional club option. I have to get a little bit more detail into that, but I would be surprised if he doesn't come back to the Cubs. But if he doesn't, maybe he could provide an option for the Yankees at the back end of the starting rotation, right? We'll see, which can make it easier for them to move somebody like a Will Warren or a Luis Hill if they wanted to do that in a package for a different player later on. So Brandon Woodruff has a mutual option with the Milwaukee Brewers. Jack Flaherty's got a player option with the Tigers. Luis Robert, a club option with the White Sox. Lucas Giolito, a mutual option with the Red Sox. Okay. Jock Peterson, player option with the Texas Rangers. Rhys Hoskins, first baseman, or DH, Milwaukee Brewers, a mutual option. Marcus Stroman, we already know that was voided, so he's officially a free agent. That $18 million is going to be off the Yankees' books. Chris Sale, another surprising one, club option for the Atlanta Braves. We'll see if that gets exercised by the Braves. Frankie Montez, player option with the Mets. I can't see how he would not exercise $17 million option. Tyler O'Neill, outfielder with the Baltimore Orioles, he has an opt-out clause. Shane Bieber with the Blue Jays has a player option. Ha-Seong Kim with the Atlanta Braves has a player option. Edwin Diaz, closer for the Mets, has an opt-out clause. He has multiple options afterward, but if he exercises his opt-out, then it pretty much voids all the other options. And same goes for any other players that have multiple options. Michael King from the Padres, former Yankee, has a mutual option with San Diego for $15 million. But he can get I have a feeling, if, with regards to mutual option, it has to be exercised by both the player and the team in order for it to be exercised. If one does and the other does not, then it gets voided. Jose Quintana, pitcher for the Brewers, mutual option. Salvador Perez, catcher for the Kansas City Royals, a club option for $13.5 million. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. from Arizona Diamondbacks has a player option. Pete Fairbanks from Tampa Bay Rays, a club option. Austin Hayes, left fielder from Cincinnati Reds, has a mutual option for $12 million. I have a feeling that one's going to get declined. He'll become a free agent. He might be an option for the Yankees as well, as a kind of a fourth outfielder who bats from the righty side. So, and we'll get into that as well shortly when it comes to the outfield. William Contreras, catcher from the Milwaukee Brewers, a club option for $12 million. Yandy Diaz, a club option for Tampa Bay Rays. I'd be surprised if that doesn't get picked up. Then you've got some mutual options here. Danny Jansen from the Milwaukee Brewers. Michael Lorenzen, pitcher from the Royals. Liam Hendricks from the Boston Red Sox. Mitch Garver from Seattle Mariners. Then you've got Brandon Lau, a club option with the Tampa Bay Rays, which might not get picked up because they've got Ha-Seong Kim there now. A.J. Minter from the New York Mets, relief pitcher, has a player option for $11 million. I'd be shocked if he doesn't pick that one up. Max Muncy, a club option with the Dodgers. I'd be surprised if they pick that up. I have a feeling they may go elsewhere. Justin Turner, mutual option with the Cubs. Martin Perez, mutual option with the White Sox. Paul Sewald, mutual option with the Tigers. Harrison Bader, mutual option with the Phillies. Now, Andrew Kittredge has a club option for $9 million with the Cubs. Jose Alvarado, club option with the Phillies. He was popped for 80 games this year for some type of violating substance abuse policy or something like that. He was also ineligible for the playoffs, but he was the closer before that happened. That's one reason why they traded for Joan Duran. Okay. Jaron Duran, actually, from the Boston Red Sox. Speedy outfield. He has a club option with Boston. I have a feeling they're going to try to trade him for an arm or something like that this offseason. Freddie Peralta, Milwaukee Brewers ace, has a club option. He's got one more year before he's a free agent as well. I'd be surprised if they didn't exercise that. Robert Suarez, one of the relief pitchers for the Padres, has an opt-out clause. Then you've got David Fletcher from the Atlanta Braves, has a club option. Matt Strahm has a vesting option in Phillies. And they're relievers. Andres Munoz, closer for the Seattle Mariners, has a club option. Kind of similar to Edwin Diaz, but he doesn't have an opt-out. If his club option doesn't get exercised, and I'd be shocked if it doesn't, then it avoids all the rest of his options. So he's got, I think, 3 or 4 more club options consecutively on a relative bargain. So Seattle will be nuts to not exercise that option. Pierce Johnson, club option with the Braves. Ozzie Albies, club option with the Braves. Elias Diaz, mutual option with the Padres. Thairo Estrada, mutual option with the Rockies. We're getting down to the bottom of the list. Scott Barlow, club option with the Reds. Ramon Laureano, club option with the Padres. John Means, club option with the Guardians. Colin Ray, club option with the Cubs. Jorge Mateo, club option with the Orioles. Tyler Kinley, club option with the Braves. Jonathan Loaiziga, club option with the Yankees for $5 million. And then you've got Randall Grichuk, mutual option for the Royals. Kyle Hart, club option for the Padres. Brooks Raley, club option for the Mets. Wandy Peralta has an opt-out clause with the Padres. Tom Murphy, a club option with the Giants. Jose Urquidy, club option with the Tigers. Kyle Farmer, mutual option with the Rockies. Alex Vesia, club option with the Dodgers. Brent Suter, club option with the Reds. Tim Hill, club option for $3 million with the Yankees. I'd be surprised if they didn't pick that up. I think they're going to pick up his, but I don't think they're going to pick up the Loaizigas. Taylor Walls has a club option with the Rays. Drew Smith, club option with the Mets. Justin Topa, club option with the Twins. Elvin Rodriguez, club option with the Orioles. And Tyler Wade has a club option with the San Diego Padres. And that's the list, folks, of options for 2026. Okay, that can give us quite a bit of clarity as to who's going to be potentially available. But as it pertains to the 2 Yankees guys, I think they're going to pick up Tim Hill's option, but decline Jonathan Loaiziga's option. Right? There's a lot of offseason, and this will give us clarity too. And keep in mind with these options, these have to be decided upon 5 days after the World Series. So it's going to happen real soon. We'll have a lot more clarity. So the free agent class might grow. Some teams might pick some up. Some players might pick up their options. Mutual options might be exercised together. So we'll find out more in the next couple of weeks. But there's a couple of players on here that represent options for the Yankees. I mentioned like Austin Hayes and a couple other folks. Does Edwin Diaz become a free agent? Does Andres Munoz become a free agent? I think Diaz will probably opt out and try to secure a bigger deal. But I personally do not want to push out Bednar from the closer spot. Okay, Tim Hill's a no-brainer for me. Get other guys like Michael King. If he becomes a free agent, could the Yankees pursue him as a back end of the rotation starter, right? William Contreras, catcher. The Yankees, it looks like the Yankees could be, well off with a right-handed bat behind the dish too, to complement either Ben Rice or Austin Wells, right? So William Contreras. I mean, JT Realmuto's a free agent too. So there's some other options as well. These are the ones that are most evident to me, like Rhys Hoskins, first base DH. Could the Yankees try to replace Paul Goldschmidt with somebody like Rhys Hoskins? Or are they going to go with Ben Rice? We don't know. Like, now Ben Rice's name's being floated in trade conversations. People are calling left and right about Ben Rice. And now there's calls, apparently there's interest in Jazz Chisholm too. So, and I think a lot of this stuff with the Yankees outfield is going to revolve around whether Aaron Judge needs to get a procedure done on his elbow, and the infield decisions will have to revolve around whether Anthony Volpe is going to get surgery on his shoulder. So, that to me is going to be the key. This to me, this is where it's at. I mean, I like as much as I want Ahmed Rosario to come back. Austin Hayes could be a pretty solid outfielder for him. Caballero would be my utility infielder. So, if the Yankees, yeah, why Jason Dominguez is going to get shopped this offseason. So, Dominguez is going to get shopped, and most likely Luis Hill as well. Maybe for a pitcher, or maybe for relief arms. They need to get a couple of relievers, probably back into the rotation starter like a veteran, and obviously they want to address the outfield too. So, that's going to be coming up too. Baylor, you're talking about Josh Naylor. He's a free agent at this year. These are just options for teams. Yeah, these are just options. So Oswaldo Cabrera is back next season. Could have two utility, and two utility players is better than one. You have two guys that can play infield and outfield. So, and Caballero and Cabrera, that's a nice bench right there. And then what other two pieces? Let's just say it's Austin Hayes. Let's just say whoever the backup catcher is. That's the bench. That's a pretty darn good bench. Pretty darn good bench. So I wanted to get this list out to you so you had an idea of people who might become available to the Yankees, and to not be surprised if the Yankees pick up one of these guys. I do expect them to pick up Tim Hill, but I don't expect them to be their primary left-handed reliever. I think somebody, at a higher level, somebody like a Reed Detmers, or what's that reliever from the Tampa Bay Rays, and the hard-throwing lefty, I forgot his name. He could be an option as well. There's a couple other relievers available too, but I expect them to go after a hard-throwing left-handed reliever. They like hard-throwing guys. And I expect them, I do think, and I'm going to go over my list later on this week of Yankees free agents who I think will stay, who I think is going to go. So that's another video I'm going to be putting out this week too. So get ready. We're going to be busy. But what do you think of this group, folks? Has anybody that I mentioned, does anybody stick out to you? It's an option you might want to see used or brought in, right? And keep in mind Jose Caballero. He was never a starter before this year, right? He's never been a starter, so he'd have to be phased into being a starter. Yeah, Jake Bird, he'll be better. Yeah, I mean, they optioned him down to AAA. I mean, he was overused by the Rockies. He's got nasty off-speed stuff, so he's going to be one of the more. Him and Duvall's going to have nasty off-speed stuff. So I expect them to have bigger roles after the season, which could be why we may not see Luke Weaver and Devin Williams back. We may see two new relievers to go along with those guys. So it's going to be an interesting next couple of weeks. Like I went over all the deadlines yesterday into what deadlines to expect for here and dates. I mean, important dates for the offseason. Cole and Hampton, I would imagine so. Hampton's got to be put on the 40-man to be protected from the Rule 5 draft. Chase Hampton. As does Spencer Jones, as do Elmer Rodriguez Cruz, as do Carlos LaGrange. All four of those guys need to be put on the 40-man to be protected from Rule 5. Otherwise, they're going to get scooped like that. So, Williams, as long as Devin Williams is willing to probably pitch in the 7th and the 8th, then I think there's a chance for him to come back. Aside from that, I don't know. I don't want to interrupt David Bednar in his closing duty. That's why I wouldn't bring Edwin Diaz. I don't want to bring Edwin Diaz and then throw David Bednar out of the closer spot. I just don't want to do that. I know Edwin Diaz has proven he can pitch in New York. I get it. He's good. But I don't want to do that. Bellinger's 50-50 right now, Jake. They have $80 million coming off. $80 million. No. I'm not sure Williams will get a QL. He would probably take it if he did. And you could probably get him for less per year than a QL, which is like $21 million. So I that probably yeah. I mean, Brendan Donovan is a guy I've been talking about for 2 years. He's a guy that if you can get him, then maybe you can get him and like Ivan Herrera, the right-handed catcher. They have a lot of catchers there, and they're looking to move some of them. So maybe we can get like Herrera and Brendan Donovan as part of a trade package to come here. I would give Hill in a trade for that easily, and then some more after that. So, um, so yeah, yeah, 15 million then money after this year. The DJ's 15 million comes off, and Bichette isn't like so. Bichette is an upgrade over the bat, not with the glove. Okay, like Bichette would be a nice fu to Toronto, take him away from him from Toronto Blue Jays, just like Pete Alonso would be a nice fu from take away from the Mets. Um, but with that said, like, would Bichette come in and be a shortstop and then move to second base later on, which would more suitably fit him with his defense, and then you can play George Lombard at shortstop. That's kind of how I would do it if Bichette was here, but that's just me, right? So, are they going to make some moves, Celia? More than you think. Yeah. I'm not sure if Ben Rice is going to move the starting catcher. I'm really not. And I doubt they're not going to have. I don't think they're going to have Wells be the backup catcher either. Spencer Jones is an option too. I think a lot of it's like I said, it's going to. It's not. They're definitely not going to go from Grisham, Bellinger to Dominguez and Jones. I think there's zero chance in the world they do that. They'll probably get a Kyle Tucker if they lost both of those guys. I expect them to get Kyle Tucker. He's got also one of the best strikeout to walk ratios in baseball. The Yankees had one of the worst this year, so he would be, a huge step up in terms of a guy with plate discipline to complement Aaron Judge. So, and Dominguez is being shopped, Angel. They're going to shop him this offseason. So I think he's going to be. There's a good chance he gets moved. So, yeah, unfortunately, they're not going to go with Dominguez and Jones in the outfield. That's a massive drop-off in offensive production from Grisham and Bellinger. Theoretically, it would be nice, but I have a feeling if they lose Bellinger and Grisham, I expect seeing Tucker here. Yeah. But that's just me. That's just me. I think it would be. I mean, I don't know if it'll be Jones or Dominguez, but I know they're going to be shopping Dominguez this offseason. That I know from someone that works for the Yankees. It has nothing to do with balls they're on. That's a massive drop-off in production that they can't afford to take right now, especially since people are constantly pounding them on wasting Judge's prime years, right? And blah, blah, blah. It's Cole's prime years. They definitely don't want to do that. Those people would have heart attacks, absolute heart attacks. Right? I mean, Rice he solidified himself. I think as the first baseman of the future. I think so. So, yeah. Well, Jones is the first prospect that's produced at this level in the minors, and probably since Aaron Judge. Yeah. So, what they do this offseason will give us a really good idea of whether Volpe is in the long-term plans or not. I'm also hearing that internally it's likely going to be Volpe versus Caballero in a competition. But if you have an opportunity to get somebody like Brendan Donovan, there's no way I would not go after him. And you could non-tender Volpe if you can't trade him. No. And again, it's not only Cole and Judge, it's the rest of the guys too. Stanton and some of these other folks as well. No. So we need, but that's one of the benefits of a Kyle Tucker if he were to bring him in. He has a very good strikeout to walk ratio. He walks a hell of a lot more than he strikes out. So, and that's the key, right? I mean, I have a feeling Volpe's going to need surgery. And that's why I just wanted to go over this list, because there are some folks in here they could probably bring in on a relatively affordable deal that could represent fits for areas. So, and I understand the logic with people wanting Bellinger over Tucker too. I get that as well. And then keep in mind, Tucker's an elite outfielder too. He's an elite defender in the outfield. But he will be more expensive than Bellinger. There's no doubt about that. There's no denying that. Even though Bellinger is a Scott Boras client and Tucker's not, he's still going to be more expensive than Bellinger. The question is, are the Yankees willing to pay that price? I have no idea. Jonathan, if they can get somebody like Donovan, or if they just happen to decide on Bichette, something like that, they bring in an infielder, then I can see them non-tendering Volpe. I think they'll try to trade him, but if he has surgery, he has no trade value. So maybe they will non-tender him if you get the right guy here. And I've been talking about Donovan for a while. You can bring in Donovan to play short, and then if you don't want to bring Jazz back next year, you can move Donovan the second when Lombard is ready for short. Like, you can do that. Right? What's up, Petruzzi in the house? So that's what it's going to be. Yeah, Volpe's starting his arbitration years now. So he doesn't have much trade value. Yeah. Like, even if you get Brendan Donovan, you can lead him off. You can play him. You can bat him second. Obviously, Kyle Tucker, you can probably lead off about second. The only prototypical leadoff hitter would probably be a Stephen Kwan if they go that route. Right? Hello, Tiffany. How are you? Yeah, I mean, Volpe's. It looks like he's probably going to need surgery, right? With his left shoulder, because that's, if you think about it, when you swing from the right hand side, the bat you extend is the bat with holding on, which is the left hand. So that's where his shoulder injury is, in the left hand, in the left arm. So the left shoulder. So that's when he's going to have injury. But that's the arm that needs to extend when he's swinging the bat. Not when he's throwing. Doesn't really have much of a lever when he's throwing. I think Bichette's an offensive upgrade over Volpe, but a defensive downgrade, Manuel. He's much more, aggressive at the plate. But again, if we could take him away from a division rival, then okay, I get it. Offensive moves, as the guy I mentioned yesterday, I could see. What's his name? Kazuma Okamoto from Japan. He's like a different version of Munetaka Murakami. He's a bats on the righty side. He's a good contact hitter. He also plays the outfield as well as the infield. He plays infield, first base, third base, and the outfield. So he can be a fourth outfielder too. Instead of going for someone like Austin Hayes or somebody, he could be a bench player. Just like Hyun Kim with the Dodgers, that guy that they brought in from Korea. You ease him in, and you could play him as a utility guy. This guy Okamoto, and he's a good contact bat. So Bichette won't block Lombard after this year, but Lombard's not ready in 2026 anyway. He won't be up here in 2026. You can move Bichette to second after this year and then put Lombard at short. You could do that. And the only way they dangle Lombard is if they can get Tarek Skubal or Paul Skeens. That's the only way I think they've already dangled Lombard and Jones to the Pirates for Paul Skeens. And the Pirates said, no, thank you. I see smart moves, Celia. The big move would probably be Kyle Tucker. And that's going to be the decision that they make. If they happen to prefer him over Bellinger for whatever reasons. I mean, the metrics love Kyle Tucker. Okay, Yankees love metrics. So we will see what happens with that. Yeah, the Yankees were in on Josh Naylor at the deadline. Yep. Yeah, Lombard's. I think 2027 is the time that Lombard will be up and ready to go for the Yankees. Scuba will be a free agent. I mean, they've got 80 million coming off this year. They've got another 20 or so coming off the following year. So, and Scuba will be 29 years old when he's a free agent. So, and he will get probably the biggest contract in history. As a guess. And then Paul Skeens will probably beat that if he keeps pitching the way he's pitching, because he'll be even younger when he's a free agent, Paul Skeens. So, but Scooble, he's a free agent. He's got one more year in his deal. And will the Tigers stick with him and pay him? I don't know. I think they're going to dangle him at the deadline at the very least, or this offseason, trying to get a haul for him, right? But Scooble's, that dude's a monster. He's a monster. But yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of trades this offseason. We've talked about it too, John. Like with the CBA ending next year, there's going to be a lot of uncertainty. So I think the trade market's going to be more aggressive than the free agent market, especially as next year. Which I think look out for guys that have 1 year left on their deal that are scheduled to become a free agent to get traded. A lot of them, and then get locked up by the new young teams ahead of the new CBA, because we don't know what's going to happen with the CBA, right? So yeah. Yeah, at the end of the day, I see the Yankees protecting four guys, and Jonathan and I are gonna do a video on this. We're gonna talk about this, about Rule 5 and who they're gonna protect and who's available via trade, and could we, package some of these guys in a trade with other guys to get a big player, to get a big reliever, to get a bat or something, right? So that's the key, right? 23 likes. We got 60 people in here. Smack that thumbs up if you haven't done that yet. Paranormal's in the building. Good to see you too, Brandon. I'm 50-50 right now, Tiffany, on Belly coming back. I'm just the more I look into Tucker, the more I think it's balanced right now. So, I mean, if they had got Tucker and Bichette, it would be completely insane. Completely insane. But I don't know if they'll do that. But could you imagine that? My God. Tucker and Bichette? Damn. Oof. Yeah, the Brewers had an opportunity last night. They did. Sounds as if Boris is going to go for 8,240 or 7,210. He's going to try to get 30 million per for Bellinger. I think that's what he's going to shoot for. And he's athletic. He's got positional versatility, so he can transition to first base. Absolutely. Yeah, the Yankees have about 80 million coming off the books. 80 million, Jerry. It's a nice chunk of change to be coming off the books for the Yankees. Yes, indeed. Can afford Tucker and Bichette. I mean, you can, but does it make sense? That's the key. Does it make sense to get both? We've drafted a lot of infielders over the last couple of years. Dax Kilby, Keenan Kent, like George Lombard. So does it make sense to sign Bichette to 25 million a year for probably 6 years? Yeah. And we want some of our young guys occupying these positions to go along with the expensive players. Bellinger and Tucker. Yeah, they could do both. If they did both, then I would expect Dominguez and Jones to get traded. I would expect both of them to get traded if they brought Bellinger back and added Tucker. There's no room for either one then. So, yeah, they could. I mean, Tucker and Belly, if they brought them in, they would make Dominguez and Jones expendable. So, yeah. And that's it. It's going to be really interesting these next like 7, 8 weeks. So, really interesting. Free agency starts 5 days after the World Series. So, options have to be exercised or triggered or whatnot leading into that 5 days after the World Series. So, right a week after, as soon as the World Series is over, that week is going to be busy. It's going to be busy. So, it's going to be very interesting. So just make sure everybody's notifications are turned on. And if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. And if you know anybody that wants to be kept in the loop of anything, make sure they know about us. Make sure they subscribe here so that they don't miss anything. I don't want folks to miss anything this offseason. No. And we'll do a lot of fun stuff, a lot of fun live streams this offseason too. Our bench was a hell of a lot better, Jaden. It was a hell of a lot better. That's why I wouldn't mind at all if they brought Amed Rosario back. I like his energy that he brings here. He's an aggressive hitter, an aggressive base runner, hits lefties extremely well. So that was one of our deficiencies last couple of years. Yeah. How many free agents are Borska? Well, I know that Bellinger is. Pete Alonso is. Some of the biggest ones are Boris, like every year. Rosario would be a nice piece here. He would be a nice piece. And I would give him a decent amount of playing time too. He's another guy that can play infield and outfield. So that versatility would be really, really nice. Actually, if they brought back Rosario, it would probably make it easier if they wanted to trade Oswaldo Cabrera at that point. They could. Even though I like Oswaldo Cabrera, it would make it easier to do that. Rosario is always at the top of the bench, right? Cheering on us. Even when he's not playing, he's at the top cheering everybody. And I always see him there. Always. I love that energy. No. Probably 5 million or something like that. Rosario. I would imagine around there. Something like that. I mean, you could take the 5 million that they should not give Jonathan Loaiza and give it to Rosario. I would just maneuver that $5 million. Right? And also Grisham. Yeah, Grisham made $5 million. He's going to make probably 15 now or 20. Grisham. So no, they won't do that, Dave. They won't do that. Make Stanton a coach for the rest. They'll never do that. Kudos for the outside of the box thought that. Oh, yeah. I mean, Quan would be awesome. Can you imagine if they added Quan and Bichette? Like that would be crazy. They have plenty of money, Jake. They have like 80 million coming off the book. It's got to be the right moves, though. Yeah, I mean Donovan's a guy I've been talking about. Like I said, Donovan and some of these underrated guys. Kazuma Okamoto from Japan. Plays infield and outfield too. Another contact bat. Plate discipline's high, just like Brendan Donovan. Right, guys that strike out less. We were some of the worst teams in the season and in the playoffs with strikeouts offensively. So I would not push Littler in a trade for Moleskines. I would not. But I know they'll last. But I would offer Hill. I would offer Warren. I would offer Bryce Cunningham or Ben Hess. Jones, Dominguez, or Lombard. They take any two of those three. Japanese. There's a good Japanese pitcher too. That I profiled him a while back. Tatsuya Imai. He's another lefty. As well. You could tell me I'm crazy, and it looks like we might have a generational talent ourselves with Schlittler. No, but they'll probably ask for him. How many moves for trades and free agency? They can make several moves. And remember, if we offload some major league players, then we'll have more salary coming off the books. No, no. I mean, Ben Rice might have to go. What if they offered Dominguez, Lombard, and Rice for Skeens? That would be a haul. Absolute haul. Yeah. But again, yeah, we do have some serious. I mean, maybe I would give him Carlos LaGrange instead of Cam Schlittler, or Alan Rodriguez Cruz instead of Cam Schlittler. So, yeah, that's the type of pitching I would give the Pirates. No, I think if I had to predict Zach Allen, I'm predicting him going back to the Diamondbacks. I think King, I don't know. He has a mutual option, so it's got to be exercised by both. If one exercises, the other doesn't exercise, then the option gets voided. Gallen called. Yeah, he did. Yes, he did. So they actually offered Rice last season for Kyle Tucker. Strangely enough, well, at the deadline. So the year before, they offered Rice for Tucker. But now Rice has turned into what he is. I doubt he'll be available. They want to add Tucker to Rice, right? So, yep. Call it Trice, Tucker Rice. But again, the value has to be significant. Like, there's only probably 2 or 3 players I would move Rice in a trade for. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, King has also an opportunity to cash in. So, like, just like Trent Grisham, like, there's no need to exercise an option and leave potentially 60, 50, 60, 70 million on the table, which is why Grisham's not going to accept a QO and he's going to sign somewhere else and then make an extra 60, 80 million bucks, right? Our biggest need of pitching is in the bullpen. Well, Pirates got a lot of young arms too. They're looking for bats as well. But can't get Skeens. And that's the other thing too. Jazz, does he get moved? And like there's this chatter about him being potentially moved this offseason. Like the only way I'm doing that is if I know Brendan Donovan's coming here to replace him. Otherwise, I'm keeping the 30-30 guy here. He might drive people crazy with his antics, and he doesn't get in trouble. So, yeah, I would agree. The Pirates, yeah, I mean, they don't know what like. The Pirates are just not. I don't think they're making a good decision on Skeens. I keep him. I get it. You want to keep your franchise, your generational player. I get on the cheap. But that said, you can pretty much transform your whole roster with what you get back in a Skeens trade, which that doesn't happen very often. Valdez, Framber Valdez. I have a feeling. Well, you never know, but I have a feeling he's going to go to Toronto. Yeah. Pirates are. I'm getting hosed for who? Pirates. You mean for Skeens? I mean, obviously the Yankees would have to give up the mother load for Paul Skeens. I would take Michael King over Valdez here, personally. I think Valdez is probably going to go to the Blue Jays. So, Yeah, Skeens is gonna be. Skeens is gonna be so good. Mm-hmm. Easily, easily, and you're gonna get teams with top 5 farms offering the world for Paul Skeens. You know that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What's good, Duran? What's going on? We're just wrapping up here. I gotta get back to work myself. Dur- Duran. Mm, hmm. Mm. Skeens does have one more season of pre-arb, yes. And then he'll get a little bit more expensive in arb. I'm not sure I would target any of those guys, Siciliano. I personally think for the bullpen, I'm going to wait and see if any of these options get exercised. Um, no, that's what I think. Me, but again, I don't work for the Yankees. Skeens, I'm not sure if he's a super two or not. I don't know if he's got a 4th year of arbitration. That I'm not sure. Pirates would love that. And again, for 7 years, on the cheap instead of 6. Mm-hmm. That's the gang, right? Here's the list. Of those guys, there's probably only 1 or 2 that I think could be options for the Yankees, and for particular reasons, right? And so, um, somebody like Austin Hayes, somebody like maybe Jose Alvarado if he's cleaned up. Give him a hard-throwing lefty with some good stuff. We need a lefty who has some really good stuff. I mean, I think Urian Yarbrough will come back, but he doesn't have some of the stuff that some of these high-end lefty hard-throwing lefty arms do. Because that really makes their off-speed stuff bite super hard. Mm-hmm. Racing Iglesias, another one. He's an option 2 for the bullpen. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much I feel like what I feel about Jazz there. Yeah, it was a stupid error, but I don't know if it changed the whole entire series because we weren't hitting at all. It's like our offense, with the exception of Judge, forgot how to hit, and even our starters, they got rocked around. So we just picked the worst time in of the season to get cold, and they got hot. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, whoever goes in with Skeens is, if he's still healthy, man. Oh man, they're getting a monster. So, yeah, he probably would. Probably would to run. I mean, Soto, I think set the, if I'm not remember, did he set the record 32 million for an arbitration or something like that? I think Soto still has the record. Well, it's part of the playoffs too, Jake. Hot teams get cold, cold teams get hot. And the Mariners pitchers are getting healthy now. They got Ryan Wu back, and they haven't even seen Castillo yet. So the Blue Jays may have hit their max. I mean, we'll see. I mean, they may have hit their peak, but they've got 3 games in Seattle. I don't know how much of a chance they have now, especially going to Seattle. So I have a feeling Seattle's probably going to pull this off and get to the World Series. But we'll see. It's not over yet. It's only 2 games in. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Skin's the beast. He's gonna get paid. He's gonna get paid. So stay tuned, gang. All right, just make sure your notifications are turned on. Later on this week, I'm gonna go over my free agents for the Yankees. Who stays, who goes, at least in my take on them. I got my MLB free agent predictions coming up. I'm going to wait until after the World Series is over because we'll probably have people I can add to the list. And I'm going to do my MLB offseason predictions too. And that's when trades are going to come. And I'll do my final Yankees predictions as well this offseason. And so it's going to be a busy offseason. So just buckle up, gang. Stay patient. Enjoy the rest of the playoff baseball. Let's watch it. And right now I'm rooting for the Blue Jays and the Mariners. Not the Blue Jays, excuse me. The Brewers. My apologies. Brewers and the Mariners. There's no room for Bregman. Where would you play him? And Schwarber? I mean, it would be nice, but I have a feeling Schwarber goes back to Philly. But yeah, no Blue Jays. Brewers and Mariners. Bregman's not a fit here, and we have Ryan McMahon now. So, which two Japanese players? I mean, if I had to pick one, it would probably be Kazuma Okamoto, who's the first base, third base option behind Munetaka Murakami. Murakami's probably gonna be solid, but this guy Okamoto I think is more appealing to me now. Plus, she hits from the righty side. He's 29 years old, so and he's known for being a patient bat with good contact skills. I've seen some footage. He looks good. Looks like a good player. So he's the guy I would take a flyer on. And obviously, Tatsuya Imai, like the pitcher, he's a good-looking pitcher too. So, but if I had to choose, it'd be Okamoto over Murakami right now. That's right, Ranger Suarez. That's right, he's a free agent. Yeah, Dylan Cease. A lot of free agents. So I'm almost done with my MLB free agent predictions. Like I said, I want to wait until the World Series is over so I can have a more comprehensive list and see if anything happens in the next couple weeks. So just buckle up, gang. So go enjoy your day. Peace and love to all these. Thanks so much for joining me for a little bit of time around lunch. And have a great day, everybody. If any other news comes out, you'll be getting here. Over now.